It's Thursday, June 25th. Welcome aboard to Barnstable Today. I'm Melissa Chartrand, filling in for Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us.
We remind you that all of the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
And our trip across the town brings us to the Night Auditorium on the campus of Barnstable High School today. The town council is going to host a meeting here, originally set for the town hall hearing room last week.
You may recall what happened a week ago tonight. Hundreds of people showed up at the town hall hearing room to address their concerns about a group of proposed sewer projects. Thanks to federal stimulus money, funds are available for the much-needed projects aimed at the Wequaquet Lake and Hyannisport areas.
But because of the cost to be incurred by individual homeowners, many of those homeowners hope to have their voices heard last week. So the town council decided to postpone the meeting to tonight in a larger venue, the Night Auditorium.
Earlier this week, Lynn Poyant, host of Talk of the Town, sat down with DPW Director Mark Els.
Yesterday, we brought part one of her interview with Mr. Els. Today, part two.
So why don't you tell us what the costs are to the people who are receiving the sewer?
Sure. The total cost on the Wequaquet Lake project, and again, these are planning estimates. We're up to about the 30% design mark on both projects. The town has, in 2002 and 2003, made prior financial commitments for the design of this. So we're not asking for design money. We're proceeding with design at this point. Our numbers on a planning level gave us the $44.1 and the $7.2 million respectively for each of the projects. We expect to refine those numbers as we reach each design stage and then the ultimate bid. And I'll go over the timeline for that in a minute, but the initial estimate was $44.1 million for the Wequaquet Lake area. That's about a $30,900 per property assessment in the form of a betterment, and I can explain what a betterment is, but that could be as you could even pay it in a lump sum at the time that you receive the first assessment of this, or you can choose to go up to 20 years with an amortized loan schedule for this. And so that would translate to about $1,870 per year if you chose to take that financing route. In the Stewart's Creek area, it's about a $20,500 preliminary estimate, and that would translate to about $1,240 per year if you chose to do it over 20 years.
Okay. You just answered when they would receive the costs. Doesn't sewering benefit everyone? Is there an option that would make it so that everyone in town would help to pay for this?
There certainly is, and that's an excellent question. One thing that I just left out on your previous question, though, is the timeline that's associated with these. Oh, no, that's okay. The timeline that's associated with this. And a lot of people, they read a recent Cape Cod Times article that talked about having to connect within 60 days, so they're envisioning the vote being taken potentially Thursday night, and then within a short time frame actually seeing these costs. First of all, the 60 days I believe was not accurate. I believe it's 6 months.
Okay.
But if you go to the Board of Health, you can also discuss a waiver with them of that 6-month time frame. It's also a little inaccuracy relative to the removal of the existing septic system. It can actually be filled. It doesn't have to be removed. But those were relatively minor. The centralized issue here seems to be the cost, appropriately, and then the time frames that are associated with that cost.
Again, that meeting is set to take place right here at Barnstable High School at 7 o'clock. The meeting will be seen right here on Barnstable's cable access, channel 18, and will be made available on demand once the meeting is complete.
Town council leaders have mentioned, if necessary, the hearings will continue Friday night and on into Monday night before they make a decision on the issue.
Wednesday night, Barnstable's public libraries were the focus of a hearing before the Town Library Committee. Committee Chair Mark Cote offered a description of the library funding process and thanked the town for its grants.
However, the town of Barnstable has 7 independent libraries. They're all either independent corporations or associations with their own board of trustees. All six of the libraries own their own property, pay no rent. They own them outright. One library, Weldon Memorial Library, does not own their own property. They lease it from the town of Barnstable. But they're independent of the towns. So the libraries, how do they work? How do they function financially? The libraries get their money in several different ways, one of which, thank you very much to the town of Barnstable, is from the town grants. And the town grant this year to the libraries this year, I'm talking about FY10, the year coming up actually, is $1.473 million to be allocated to the 7 libraries in the town of Barnstable. A very sizable sum, and the libraries are grateful for that, and would probably not be able to exist without that grant. Also, we get money from the state to a smaller degree than from the town, and we get money from several of the libraries have endowment funds, income from the endowment, and fundraisers, and privately sought after grants. The new formula for the town of Barnstable has been arrived at following a history of formulas, and prior to the town council structure, when we had a town meeting system, the money was a similar way of distributing it. The town meeting would appropriate a certain amount of money for the libraries, and the town library committee would decide how that allocation voted on at town meeting would be allocated to each of the 7 libraries. When the town council form of government came into effect, the town library committee more or less followed the percentages that were established at the prior to the town council form. So the percentages of the allocation stayed the same for quite a few years, and as we came into the 2000s, it became apparent that the old formula probably was not equitable in the modern day. The town hired a consulting firm to look at the way the money was allocated to the towns and the entire town library system.
With that said, Mr. Cote then described the funding formula and opened up the floor for discussion. Ultimately, the singular question to be addressed in the meeting Wednesday night was offered by town resident Felicia Penn.
It appears to me that the only library that was hurt in the new distribution formula is the Hyannis Public Library. So that's why I'm questioning the fairness of the formula.
The issue was addressed and discussed, and the town library committee then promised to take the public comments into consideration. The committee adjourned without a decision.
Again tonight, the town council will host a public hearing on the sewer improvement project, Night Auditorium, Barnstable High School.
And as mentioned, that hearing can be seen right here on Channel 18 and will be made available on demand on the town's website. For Melissa Chartrand, I'm Andrew Gobeil. Thanks for joining us.